If you've been looking to buy or sell in Raleigh, then you've noticed that the Raleigh housing market has been off. Homes are sitting longer, builders are offering more incentives, and some prices have even started to drop. So does that mean that the Raleigh housing market is in trouble? Or is this the best opportunity that we've seen in years? Let's dive into it. Hi, I'm Yandri. I'm a local real estate agent in the Raleigh Triangle area. And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe, follow us for more videos on Raleigh market, lifestyle, and everything that you need to know. So let's get into it. Why would someone think that the Raleigh market is crashing? To begin, homes are staying longer on the market. On average, we're seeing homes staying for 30 to 40 days. And these are not homes that have anything wrong with them. It's just that right now, the market is slower. So homes are not just flying off the shelf like during COVID, that you put a sign out on the door and a couple of hours later, you had multiple offers. That's not happening right now. So sellers are getting a little bit scared because they're like, wait, why is my home still sitting? Why are people giving me so much feedback and telling me that I should do this and that? And that is totally understandable. Also, we've actually started seeing some prices to drop. So what's happening is that if the home is not priced correctly from the beginning, then as it sits on the market longer and longer, people are going to start offering you less. So we're seeing prices start to drop little by little, and even some massive price drops. Because if the house wasn't priced correctly, or because the market is fluctuating so much, maybe a home that sold for $500,000, I don't know, let's say in January, right now it's selling for $460,000. So that's why we're seeing prices to start to drop. And little by little, it's starting to become more of a normal market. So what's the reality? The market isn't crashing. It's actually returning to a more balanced market. That means that buyers have more negotiating power, and homes are not just going to fly off the shelves, but they're going to take a little bit longer. Sellers do have to make some repairs, give some concessions, and actually take some time to get their home ready to go on market. That might mean that you might spend some money in doing some staging or doing some updates or repairs that maybe you were trying to delay, and now is the time for you to do those. So the Raleigh market is not crashing. It's actually going back to a more normal, balanced market. So now let's talk about the impact of new construction. The Raleigh Triangle area is growing. Every year we have people from all over moving to this area. So that means that there's building everywhere. There's more new construction. And that is affecting the resale market because right now builders are offering incentives when it comes to the rate. They're offering appliances, they're offering agent bonuses, all kinds of things. And that makes it really hard if you're trying to sell a home that, let's say you've only lived there for a couple of years, and now there's a builder around the corner that is selling the same type of home, but for $20,000, $30,000 less, with a 3.9 interest rate, the appliances, blinds, all these other promotions. And now it's very hard to compete with that. So as a seller, you have to be very strategic and work with your agent to make sure that you can compete with the new builders and try to see how you can have more of an advantage than a new build. So here's the thing. If you're a buyer, you can actually get a better deal with the new construction right now. Because let's say, for example, if you're comparing apples to apples, right? You're buying a house that's $300,000, a resale or a new construction that's $300,000, but the new construction is offering you a rate incentive of 3.9, and let's say with the average interest rates, you're getting a 6.5. That is a major difference on your monthly payment. You could be saving hundreds of dollars a month by going with the new construction. So that is one of the reasons why a lot of homes are also sitting longer, because buyers have more options and they have more incentives to go with new construction versus buying a home that's used or resale. So should sellers be worried? Well, not necessarily. If you price your home right, homes are still selling every day. Now, there's some things that you want to take into consideration. You want to make sure that you get really good pictures. You want to make sure that you invest in doing some repairs or maybe staging. You want to make sure that you position your home as the top of the line, right? Because now you have a lot of competition. So we're actually going through this right now where we thought our home was going to sell in 2 days. And right now we're going like, I don't know how many days, right? So what have we done? We've made some updates. We changed the floors, we painted the exterior, we've taken the feedback that buyers have given us and we've made changes quickly. We've reduced the price. Why? Because we want to sell. So if you're a seller right now, you have to be very intentional and you also have to be very flexible because the market is going to give you feedback and then it's up to you to implement the feedback that the market is giving you. Remember, the price of a home or the value of a home is not what you bought it for, what you paid for it, is what the market can withstand at that time, right? So right now, rates are high, the economy, there's a lot going on in the world. So buyers are more hesitant. They're also more informed than ever. So they're not just making impulse choices, right? They have so much more education available to know about the housing market and to know about different options that are available to them. So you want to make sure that you position your home as the best choice for anyone that's looking and they can really have a fighting chance to compete with the other homes on the market. So should buyers wait to purchase a home? No, I wouldn't recommend that because remember, you have to get into the game, right? So once you own a home, now you have the opportunity of being able to build equity because this is an area that is growing and growing and every year more and more people are moving here. Also, take into account that rates might drop at any given moment and you can always refinance for a lower payment. The important thing is that you have your home, you're in the home and then you have options when rates drop or when you have more equity or you can buy a home now and live in it for a couple of years and then sell it and then buy something bigger or something that's more suitable for your family. But renting, you're only throwing away money. You're not building equity. You're not going to be able to have any wiggle room, right? Because your rent is just going to keep going up every year. With a mortgage, let's say something happens and you lose your job or whatever, you can always call your lender and talk to them and try to work out a payment plan. If you rent, you can't do that. Like you're just going to get evicted, right? So once you become a homeowner, it just opens up more opportunities for you and your family to continue to build wealth and to have a more sustainable lifestyle, right? So I would not recommend for buyers to wait. If you can, right? If you can afford a home based on your financial circumstances, then I would go ahead and buy if you're renting. But of course, if you can't because you need to work on your credit or income or employment history, then that's fine. But if you're able to qualify now, I don't see any need to wait. I would just go in and try to get the best home that you can and take advantage of the market that we're in right now. So is the Raleigh housing market in trouble? I would say no. I would say that it's actually returning to a more balanced, normal market. That means that buyers have more options, they have more choices, they can negotiate more. That also means that sellers now have to compete. They have to make sure that they make those repairs, that they get really good pictures, videos, marketing to position their home as the best option for buyers. So the Raleigh market is not crashing. It's actually just returning to a normal balanced market. Remember, you don't have to make all of these decisions yourself. Rely on the professionals. If you have a real estate agent, make sure that you're talking to your real estate agent about what options are available to you and that you have a really good lender that's going to advise you and let you know what are your choices. And if you don't have a real estate agent, I would love to help. I can answer any questions that you have or point you in the right direction. Send me a DM or email, text, call me. I would be glad to help.